be able to. All right. So yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time to meet up with us. Like I said, one of our community members, we have this DYOR tool where people make reports on projects. And so someone did it for Cardance and created that report, and then I shared it on our Twitter and was just highlighting some of the stuff that they found through the report. So it's not something that I had done on my own research. It's something that one of our community members had done. And one of the things that they had put on there was they weren't able to find some information on the team and a couple other things, which you guys then responded to. So really appreciate you guys reaching out and wanting to, discuss your project and clear up any kind of misconceptions that might have been on that report.
Okay, so let me.
Yeah, sorry, I'll try to talk in shorter.
It's okay. It's okay. Lucas, dá
Eu acho que é melhor você falar primeiro
okay. So Eric, Rafael wanted to introduce him a little bit before getting to the main point. So Rafael he's been investing in a lot of projects. He's been working with bank investments, and he had some projects owned by him in Brazil that make really nice success, and he's been an enthusiast for blockchain since I think 2 years, and he's been working with some projects in the network. So yeah, that's what he wanted to introduce to you guys, and I'm going to ask Lucas if he wants to introduce some from him.
Perfect.
Lucas, I don't know how to say the correct way, but he started entrepreneuring with the blockchain as an enthusiast from all the network and all that, I think.
Great.
So, yeah.
So maybe you could start just by giving a little bit of background on Cardance. In general, when you guys started it, what gave you the idea for it? Just a little intro.
Okay.
O acesso, né, de bens. Obrigado.
Okay. So as Rafael and Lucas was saying, they are enthusiasts for the blockchain networks for a little while, and Rafael has from his background with investing in all his projects, he has a really cool community and social media and all that. And every time he's told about in his social media about his projects with their cards and all the blockchain projects, he find out it was really hard for them to get in touch with, like to have access to the networks, to know what is blockchain and Cardano and all that, and to access all this network in the community and all that. So he thinks from that he kind of built the project of Cardance, which is the DEX, with the vision to turn all this access as easy as possible for everyone. So their main goal, their main vision is to kind of have this position where they want to reach out for people who are not used to blockchains and ease this access. And that's how they started Cardance. Okay. So as Rafael was saying, Cardance vision is not to be the biggest DEX in the network, but is to be known as the easiest DEX to use. So everyone has this reference where you want to get in touch with blockchain and Cardano. So you're going to use Cardance because it is the easiest one and is this more usability focused on people who are not used to this environment.
Have you guys used like MinSwap or SundaySwap or any of the ones that are currently on Cardano?
Sorry, could you ask again?
Has Rafael or any of you guys used MinSwap or SundaySwap or any of the ones that are currently on there?
Yeah, they use that. I can tell.
So how would you make it easier to use? Like as of right now, to like swap one, it's pretty easy, right? So like, what would you do differently that makes it like that much easier to access?
Okay, let me ask them. So Eric, as Rafael was telling, SundaeSwap and MinSwap, as we're telling, is really simple for people who are already used to the environment of blockchains and what is the tokens and all that. So the ambition of Cardance is actually to grab by the hand someone who has never used anything for this from this universe of blockchains and tokens and all that, and put that person in a way that person can actually have a good experience by first experience, like first time using the all this environment. So they have plans to have like a mobile app and all that to actually teach people, like you can, as you can bring anyone from your family like you that's not used to this universe, and you can actually tell them, okay, you're new to that, so you're going to use Cardance because they're going to teach you everything you want to. You have to have every information you want to have to work in this universe, in this environment.
With like buttons that you click on that explain what everything is, or videos that explain it, or like what would make it easier?
So I think they understood. I'm just going to make it clear if they want to add up something. How can they do that? It's actually a mix of various things, that including like UX, how you can communicate better with people who are not used to the environment, and actually having a step-by-step or doing some features that we are using the blockchain, like swapping tokens. And Rafael, wanted something?
A gente conversou, tem conversado com o pessoal do Azure ADA, que a gente propôs em criar uma espécie de um academy ou um lugar em que a gente pudesse trazer e passar mais informações em relação a isso para as pessoas que vão se interessando e tudo mais, aumentar o conhecimento em relação em torno disso.
Beleza. Rafael was telling that was adding up that they were reaching out for Azure ADA. I think it's another staking pool project in Cardano. And they have this purpose of reaching out for people inside the network who has some information and have some knowledge to add up to build more information for the people who are not used to, and actually have this step-by-step where you can teach them how to do simple things that we are already used to and they are not. So I think that sums all, like the vision of having this. Cardance wants to be like have this image of the people who is teaching and bringing to people who are really not used to the environment to be more, to have more information and be more like, I know what I'm doing, and okay, thank you for teaching me and all that, because here in the environments there is a lot of, you kind of have to struggle to get more information. And in Cardano, I think also people have a lot of trouble kind of programming and reaching out for more information, so they want to put it there in a way everyone has
I think
access
we
and
got
all
what
that.
you. Yeah, I think we follow.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with you on the fact that it is difficult for others to come in to to this world and to try and start using these tools when they don't know, what everything means. You guys said you have a shippable prototype of Cardance that you've had tested by, I think it was 40 or 60 users. Is it possible for us to see that?
Okay, let me get to them. So as Lucas and Rafael was saying, what they posted on Medium was actually UX, user experience test. So they ran the UX test with a lot of people, and they were testing actually if they could see and use the UX in a good way. So they don't have the UI assets actually running, and they are compromising themselves to as soon as they release, you guys can be the first one to test, because he was talking about something about the transparency they want to have with the community and all that. So I think that's it.
When is there a, he said as soon as they release, is there
Yes.
a thought date for that? Is there a prospective date
Okay.
for release?
Okay. Let me get to them. Então,
Não, tudo bem.
tá. So as they're talking, they are they are already reviewing the roadmap, and they are going to put it there in a more transparent way. So they do not have any deadlines for right now for this for the release of the first these first screens and features, but they are already kind of setting up and adjusting all the dates and all that.
Fala, eles vão estar recebendo essas atualizações.
Okay, so Rafael wanted to add up that they are reviewing all the points you guys pointed out from the project, and it is actually helping them to do this roadmap adjustments and all that. And he wants to know actually if you guys can keep this communication flowing, because for them it's actually helping a lot, all that, and to kind of update all the points that you guys pointed out that maybe was good or not so good, and kind of like have this update for the project and for you guys. Does that make sense?
So speaking from my end, I released that tweet pointing out the red flags or the concerns, right? So one of the main things was concern that the team, the person wasn't able to find information about the team. They weren't able to find the LinkedIn profiles or any of those. So there was a concern that perhaps they didn't exist, right? Talking to you guys,
Okay.
you're all clearly real people that we're able to see. So for that, I'm happy to go through and I'll make an adjustment and everything that we're able to discuss. I'll include on there. If you want, we can also upload this video to YouTube or, be able to share it. And if other people want to look at it and see what you guys are discussing, we can do that as well. So yeah, for mine, anything that I had posted there before, I'm happy to put on there anything that's been corrected. As far as like being official, like consultants, I'm happy to talk on it or, discuss anything going forward. But wouldn't be like, official like consultants for the project or anything like that, right?
Sure. So let me get to them. Really cool that you guys could like post the video and do all that updating. And they want to know actually what is the smart contract authority token DAO? Like, what's your purpose? What do you guys actually do?
So overall, it's building an organization that focuses on security and safety and transparency on Cardano. So a part of it, working towards the final product would be actually reviewing and looking at smart contracts for different projects. And the kind of way that you described is most of the time you have a dev team that is seeking out their own smart contract audits, and that creates a conflict of interest where you have somebody that's auditing their boss, and it puts into question, are the results really good, or are they kind of doing them to appease their boss? So that's kind of the long term would be including that, but then also it's about transparency and security on Cardano. So it's an organization where people, if they're seeing red flags or things that they're concerned about, they can voice them and people look into it. There's people that are doing research reports on different things. So smart contract auditing, it's part of it, and that's what we're working towards, the end product. But it's also just an environment of safety and security on Cardano. So when people spot something, we put out this tool called the DYOR tool, where people can do research on different projects, and people create those reports and share them, and report on things that they're either liking or things that they're kind of concerned about. And you can kind of spot red flags or different problems that you're seeing and speak up on it and share it before it becomes an issue.
Okay, so let me get to them. So yeah, as Rafael was telling, it's good to know about more about your guys' project, because he's also a really big enthusiast of the Cardano. He went to the conference, even managed to talk a little bit with Hoskinson. And here in Brazil, it's like he's like one biggie one. He's really into the Cardano, the Brazilian Cardano community. So he's always looking for Brazilian projects, and he has a lot of network with other Cardano projects in Brazil. And it's good to know about you guys, so they can kind of like work out something, and it's really good to know.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. And then, you know, that's the project that I'm working on. Well, she actually works on built on Cardano. You know, maybe he could tell you about it briefly, but then also, you know, been looking into Cardance. So a few other questions, you know, while looking into it that we're hoping to cover as well. And I know we only have maybe another half an hour. So if we could get into those as well, that'd be great.
Sure.
So Welshie?
Yeah, I'm here from Built on Cardano, and you know, you guys listed yourselves on the platform, and thank you for doing so. You know, we love community contributions. That's what we are all about. We want the community to help us build this platform for the community. I go in and I research the projects afterwards, and this is the reason we're having this call, and specifically I'm on this call, is that there were a lot of red flags raised about, like, you know, that rose concerns about if Cardance is a real project, if it's actually got the capability to execute what it's promising. And those red flags are what we're here to sort of clear up today. So before I get onto those, I just want to ask, who is developing Cardance?
As you say, developing, what can you be more specific?
Yeah. So who is writing the Pluto smart contracts?
All right. Let me get to them.
Nessas questões.
Yeah. So they started talking to Azurada because they are kind of building a partnership, and for their part is to help the Cardance team with all the infrastructure of the development. And Azurada, I think it's AZUR.
Yeah, como azul, like blue.
Yeah, Azure.
Okay. Okay, sweet. That's good to know. So that's sort of why there's no timeline on it, because there is no current, you know, the development's gotten stuck.
Yeah.
Regarding the team behind Cardance, in our Twitter messages with Raphael, he mentioned someone in their team that speaks really good English. And I just want to know more about them. And are they the ones who write all of the content, like the white paper and the Medium posts and the website? And who is that?
Well, okay. As Raphael was saying, the most part of the content is written even by Raphael or Lucas. They say they don't have a lot of issues like writing down and checking on translators and all that. And they run by, they have people who check the content, and have the community manager who speaks English and who doesn't have language issues with English. And yeah, I think, does that answer?
Yeah, I was reading some of Raphael's content written on the Dracada Discord, and your written English is fantastic, Raphael. Like, really good. So you guys write most of the posts, the Medium posts?
Let me check. Então é vocês que qual que foi o primeiro?
Como assim? Eu não entendi a pergunta.
Well, the question was, which one was the first post written in Medium? Was that it?
No. The first one is Cardance project.
The first post. Sorry.
I speak Spanish, but not Portuguese, so I keep trying to interject. Yeah, the first, okay, so I'll ask the whole question.
Yeah,
The first post on Medium is called Cardance Project.
Okay.
At the bottom of that post, right at the end, is a link to the Sushi Swap Twitter, not your Twitter. It says join us on our Twitter or something like that, and then says Sushi Swap Twitter.
Não sei.
I think he understood your question and he got surprised.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering because I then went on the Sushi Swap Medium and they have an article called Sushi Swap Project. So basically the same title. And if you look at the content for both articles as you go down, they're very, very similar.
All right.
Não sei.
At the beginning, can you guys listen? Okay. Because let me just plug my headphone here. It's ringing. Yeah, I think the battery was running low. So as Rafael was saying, at the beginning of the project, they sent the text in Portuguese to someone else that they were mentioning, and they sent back the text right to publish, like ready to publish on Medium, as they were saying. And they just published that, but they are kind of checking out why that happened, and I think that's it.
Okay, I mean, it was published almost 3 months ago now.
Ele falou,
Right.
ele falou que o texto que está lá é parecido com o texto que está no Sushi Swap.
É, isso. Não, mas beleza. Okay. Yeah, they said he was going to check with him again and see what could be, but have in mind that he's already thinking of what might be. Like the guy just I don't know. Okay.
But Raphael wrote it in Portuguese.
Yes, he
and
wrote in
sent it
Portuguese
to
the
him.
content. Yes.
Okay, it's very similar to the Sushi Swap English article. Like
Okay.
the content.
They I don't know if they hired him or something. So he shows up in the first videos of a Cardance, and his name is Victor.
Not the same community manager, Victor.
What?
Como?
Sorry?
No, Victor, who is in the videos right now?
Sim. O
says
Victor,
yes.
que aparece nos vídeos. É porque, assim, as nomenclaturas.
It's another person. And he
Oh,
just
okay.
added up that the job titles they used to change the kind of like the role titles. The
Yeah.
community manager is going to be, I think, Cardance Online something. Sorry, I didn't remember what he said.
Okay. So who wrote the white paper?
Okay. Kane managed to pass that for a translator and then review and publish.
Okay. Do they have the Portuguese version that they could send us?
Let me ask him. Was it the text they could send it to you, but they want to know like kind of why do you guys need?
I read through the white paper and I found a lot of errors in it, language errors. So I would like to take the Portuguese version and run it through a translator myself to see if I get the same errors.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's some quite big ones that are slightly formatting that you should be able to notice through, and there's some that which wouldn't happen, I assume wouldn't happen through translation, because the same word would have been translated correctly just a little bit further down. So I'm unsure as to, you know, that. So yeah, that's why I just want to compare the two myself.
Okay. And no, they're asking if you can report them. What are the errors so they could correct?
I mean, Yeah, if you want, I'll give you a couple of them. If you're on page 10,
Tá falando.
there's a section called stacking, not staking. Whereas in the sentence, the first sentence of that section, staking is spelt correctly. So that, you know, I'm not sure how similar those words are in Portuguese, but, you know, that's one. There's another one where you talk about, if you go to the page 8, it says, instead of the title of it, instead of saying dance wallet, is dance wall. And then right underneath that, the first words are dance wallet. So it's these just like sort of little errors, which to me display the fact that no one, and I can see at least Raphael's proficiency with English in his written words, that no one checked this over, which is concerning to me, that a white paper is written and then not thoroughly reviewed to, you know, because this is your product that you're showing the world. My assumption would be that I would want to make sure I checked it all first. And so this is like, and there are, you know, throughout the website as well, there are grammatical errors and words missing, which, you know, you can take into account that it comes from people who aren't native in English. And I always take that into account, having learned a foreign language myself and spent a lot of time speaking with people who speak broken English and speaking broken Spanish. But there are many errors. There's just an accumulation of errors like this, which makes me really uncertain as to the legitimacy of the people creating the website, or the white paper, because if they don't care about that, then how much do they care about the product they're creating? That's where my concern comes from with the white paper.
Okay, so let me get to them. So Lucas was saying once again, thanks for all the reports, because since they are like a small team, and sometimes they go through errors and mistakes, and they are going to go back to everything you guys are reporting and fixing it. And yeah, so once again, if they could, they would send you again to you guys the adjusted white paper and to check, because they are really taking care of the project, and they don't want to show off like they are not taking care of their own project.
Enough. I would love to see the Portuguese version too, but I do have to leave because I have a meeting right now. But thank you for your time, and maybe I'll talk to Eric afterwards to find out what happened at the end, and maybe we you know, do this again to go through the rest of the points that we have, and I'm sure Eric has a couple too. But thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Worsh.
I will see you again.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Pode dar tchau para eles.
If you guys, oh, sorry, go ahead, Lucas.
No, let me just get them. So o cara teve.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you have a few more minutes, I'd love to keep talking if that's all right.
Okay, let me ask them.
Não, mais pouquinho tem sim.
Okay, they say they have some time, but not too much, because they have COVID, as they told you.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm sure it's hard to talk when you're sick, so I appreciate you guys doing that. And you had mentioned wanting to send over stuff. In general, you know, the things that you produce, happy to look over it and, you know, discuss or, you know, provide the commentary on it. In general, I would rather not have you guys send over things, you know, and have us be proofreading or, you know, being the official review of your project before you guys are publishing. Like as you guys go through and do stuff, happy to look over it and, you know, take a look at it. But as far as like being a quality review over you guys before you guys are shipping things or publishing things, would usually try to avoid that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me just, that's de super validação.
A gente
I'd be happy to read the white paper you put out, but I don't want to be part of the author, one of the authors of it, right?
Oh, okay. So, so Eric, hold on, let me come back. Okay, so Eric, Rafael was telling like, it's okay. They're really happy and thankful for your guys' reports, but what what he was pointing out is they felt like they were kind of lying to the community as they was building some project that was not kind of truly that, and they are really you want to point out that he cares much about the project because they are here and they are ready like to communicate with everyone and to reach out for what they need to do to make all that happen. So yeah, I think that kind of uh, feeling of that they are doing something, they are promising something that they are not ready to do, something like that. That's something he pointed out he felt a little weird about.
I appreciate you mentioning that. I think that's common where people will get started and they have all these ideas, and then it ends up being a little bit more difficult or hard to find engineers, or it ends up being a little bit different than you thought. So like you guys are currently doing a token sale. I would recommend being very clear and transparent over where you're currently at, how long these things are going to take, any risks that you kind of see coming up, but noticing those things and being vocal with your investors or your community, it goes a long way versus, if you have concerns or, things aren't going the exact way that you planned. By not mentioning those things, then it looks like there's something to hide, or it looks like something shady is going on. So 100%, if things based on what you presented in the white paper and on the website, if that's not currently what you guys are doing or where you're at, I would, start communicating that as soon as possible. That also kind of gets me to the next thing that I wanted to kind of ask about, or it could be the last thing that we discuss, because I know you guys are kind of busy, but you're currently selling 30% of the supply, right? Based on what it was on the website, that 30% of the tokens are being sold to fund the project, right? So how much money are you guys trying to raise by selling that 30% of the supply?
Okay, let me ask him. So Eric, Rafael was telling that they already have an investor, really nice investor, so they don't have more issues with having to get more money to invest in the project itself. So they are going to pick all the 30%. They at, that at first was to invest in the project, and they will prevent will have will invest all in liquidity pools. So they managed to talk with the Muesli swap team, and they are going to promote like liquidity pool there or somewhere else. So all this money that they were going to get from for selling 30%, the 30% they will put in liquidity pool, because they don't need that money anymore to invest in the project, because they already have someone investing in an investor investing in the project.
Sure. So why sell the tokens then? Like you guys had already said, like, we're not sure, we're hiring developers, we're not sure exactly what we're going to do at this point. So wouldn't it make more sense to not sell tokens until you have the business at a place where it's ready, you're close to an MVP and you're ready to ship your project? Then you start selling the tokens and doing that. But if you're already funded for your liquidity and for your development, then why sell the tokens for the project, especially when the project is kind of at a standstill, or you're not sure exactly what you're going to do next with it?
Okay.
Ele está perguntando.
Rafael saying to release the tokens kind of brought the potential of growing for the investors, and from that they could kind of attract the investor for the project. So that's why he was telling us why they released the token at first. It was kind of more like a strategy for getting the investors to the project.
But you've already said that you don't really need the investors now, right? Like you have a private investor that came in, so you guys are pretty well funded now, right? Well, I thought that's what you had said.
Yeah, that's it, as I understood. But they only got this specific investor, because they could kind of use the tokens as a strategy to bring him to get his attention to the project and something like that.
Because just for the long-term plan, right? You know, like it makes sense. If you don't have the investor already, then you need to try to sell some tokens, maybe to raise some funds, right? That makes sense. But if you're fully funded, to continue selling tokens when you don't need the money, especially when you have concerns that the product or that the plan is not fully developed, or you're not sure exactly who's going to build it, then to continue selling tokens in that instance, it kind of has a bad look to it, right? Saying like, for one, we don't need the money because we're already well funded, and for two, we're not really positive that our plan is going to work at this point, or we need to change our plan around a little bit, right? So it seems like to continue selling tokens, maybe it made sense at the start, but when you're already well funded and you're not sure what the plan is going to be, to continue doing it, it doesn't really make a ton of sense, right? Like if you're already well funded enough, why continue raising funds? And if we're not sure exactly what the product is going to be, at least communicating that, but to continue selling tokens when you're not exactly sure what direction the project is going to take, that also kind of has a bad look to it, you know?
Sure, let me get to them. So, então,
Assim,
tá. Não, beleza, eu vou falar para eles. So,
Você
Eric,
entendeu?
yeah, I'm sorry, I think I did a little mistake, like misinterpretation. So the investor is not actually covering all the costs. He has like starting investments, and he has like some starting investments, but as they say, like nobody has infinite money.
Mhm.
So they are also using the tokens to promote liquidity and also for structure and infrastructure costs and all that.
And do they know, like 30% of the supply is pretty large, right? Is there a total amount that they're trying to raise? Like, is there a dollar value in mind that they're trying to raise for this?
You mean like dollar amount?
Yeah, like
Like
we're
aid
selling
amount?
30% of the supply. We're trying to raise $10 million, $500,000, $20,000,
Okay.
like whatever the total amount that they're trying to raise with that 30%.
Okay. Então ele their kind of strategy to not to have any specific amount raised, but
em
to
dólares,
then
em dólares.
in dollars. But I think as they're saying, let me make me clear. Mas não em dólar, mas tem outro valor?
Não, em dólar.
To cover the infrastructure costs, they want to use it more like a strategy to bring investors and to kind of get more movement in their ecosystem, and maybe to cover some developing costs with their own token and something like that. Could you did I make myself clear?
Pares com essa, inclusive.
Yeah, I got the gist of it, Felipe.
Okay.
And then just final thing. So Rafael, you kind of mentioned that there was some concerns, or like the wording that you used, that maybe the white paper, the plan that you currently presented is maybe a little bit different than what's actually going to happen. Like, are there any key differences or key things that you think are different about what's in the white paper or the website of what's actually going to happen?
Okay, let me get some.
Diz respeito, né?
Mm-hmm. So Eric, so he was Rafael and Lucas was saying that first of all, Lucas wanted to thank again that you guys went like deep into their content, and they already have a lot in mind to adjust and change, and they're going to do some meetings about what they talk to you guys here to adjust again all their vision and like all their content. And Rafael was telling that about the white paper, there is some changes, and mainly about the project dates and like the schedules and the roadmap they want to adjust. And let me see if I forget something. No, I think about the dates. Mais alguma coisa?
Sobre o aplicativo.
And about the mobile app they're developing, and there's a lot to still adjust and tell the people that how they're working on with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, things can change from when you started a project, but it's always a really good idea to be transparent and clear about what everything's at. If it's going to take a year, then it takes a year, but at least everybody knows that and understands it, and they can make the decision, you know, based on the accurate information. So I think that's great if you guys update all that stuff as soon as you can, and you know, communicate it. I think that would be a great idea.
Sure. Então ele está falando e que se vocês forem atualizar tudo é uma ótima ideia.
Beleza.
Awesome. Well, I've already taken up a bunch of your time, so I think we can probably end this. Like I said, I'll probably post this to YouTube if you guys don't mind, and then other people that are interested in your project could watch the video if they wanted to. And then I'll also I'll do a follow-up to the tweet that I said. I think one of the main concerns was whether you guys actually existed or not, which we've been speaking, you all do. So I'll go ahead and I'll update that to comment that I was able to confirm that you do in fact exist, and maybe a couple other things that we discussed as well.
Sure, let me get to them. So, Lucas Rafael, o principal motivo, principal preocupação era se vocês existiam ou não, mas ele meio que como está falando com vocês, ele vai dar o update lá no report. E se não tem problema de dar upload no vídeo no YouTube, para a galera ver que estiver interessado no projeto e tal.
Pode subir. Tranquilo.
And just I really appreciate you guys meeting with me. You know, I really do appreciate it. At this point, just like anything else, I'm rooting for you guys. I hope that you put together a really great DEX, and I hope it you know, it improves the Cardano ecosystem. In general, in my personal opinion, it's really risky at this stage, right? You know, any product that they're just getting started, they don't have their smart contract developer lined up. So at this point, I would say it's pretty risky to be investing in the project or investing in the tokens. If it works out, that's, you know, that's great, and it will, you know, work out really well for anybody. But at this point, it would be a little bit riskier, in my opinion, right?
Okay, let me get to them. Então, so Eric, yeah, Rafael was saying once again, thanks for all the reports you guys was telling them, and they understand your opinion, and they're going to work to solve all the issues you guys pointed out, and he apologized if he was rude and then seemed rude in any answer that he got to you. And because they felt a little like kind of as I understood, they felt a little kind of threat, you know, like there's something bad happening there, and they're doing something bad and all that. So yeah.
Fala para ele que da mesma forma com que ele tem medo de que de ser enganado ou que seja um fake, a gente também fica com medo porque a gente já recebeu um monte de contato fake que tentou enganar a gente. Então a gente qualquer contato a gente fica meio assim.
Beleza. So yeah, he was adding up to that he's also a little he has, as everyone has a little fear of being misleading to scams or anything like that, he also fears that because he receives a lot of contact from other people who want to try something else and who want to scam him or something like that. That's something he wanted to add.
No problem, man. I thought in your response, I could tell that you were a little bit annoyed, but anybody is going to be frustrated when someone calls them out or points out and says, hey, I think this maybe looks bad, or, you know, I'm concerned about this. So no problem. I really appreciate that you were willing to meet, and no problem at all, man. It was a good conversation, and I hope that we can continue. And if you have any updates or any things that you want to discuss, you can shoot me an email or send me a message on Twitter or whatever you want, but you can always reach out, and, you know, happy to discuss anything.
Okay,
Perfect.
I want to add up that he has, you guys have their words, and really they really evaluate their words, and you have their words that they're going to work as hard as they can to make all this happen, and they appreciate your help in their journey.
Yeah, good talking to you guys. Again, I'm rooting for you that you build a cool product. Until you guys have that, kind of working product in place, I would still think that it's going to be kind of a risky thing to invest in. But I'm hoping that you guys pull it off and that you make something great for the Cardano ecosystem.
Nice. Vocês entenderam? Muito arriscado.
Perfect.
Tudo bom.
Perfect. Tudo bom.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot, guys. It was good talking to
Okay.
you.
Okay, I
Nice
don't
to
know
meet
if
you.
no, just to clarify, they told Eric, they told me that it was all cool if you want to upload the video on YouTube. I don't know if I said it.
I don't have a large following on YouTube, so I don't know if too many people will look at it. But just in case anybody has the same questions or is interested, then it's a place they can reference, right? And
Sure.
thank you for all the translating, Felipe. I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, yeah. Most important job.
Yeah, very, very important. And then again, reach out if you guys have any questions. Open line, right? Reach out anytime.
Okay, man.
All right.
Thanks, Eric. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.